I'm Leigh, Director at Clarion Associates, and I work with communities to create long-range plans. In my experience, the best way to ensure long-range planning objectives are fully realized is to undertake consecutive efforts to create a plan and to implement that plan through regulatory changes. That concretely puts the vision into the action on the heels of plan adoption. This also allows communities to plan with the end in mind and create a comprehensive approach, starting with plan development and following all the way through the regulatory updates. Once a community has decided to undertake an effort to create a new plan and regulatory updates, there are many critical things to consider. The plan needs to provide the right level of guidance for the code update. We're going to look at an example in Kannapolis, North Carolina, which is located in the Charlotte metropolitan region. On the heels of major reinvestments to downtown, city leaders realized that they needed a plan and associated code updates for the rest of the city. In the Move Kannapolis Forward plan, the vision framework and associated goals and policies were the right level of guidance to set out the big policy moves, while also allowing flexibility for the code provisions to be worked out through the code update process. The plan's vision, goals, and policies serve as the framework for the code update process. And a series of maps and associated map classifications provide guidance for zoning changes within the code. The first map is the Conceptual Growth Framework map. This identifies areas for redevelopment, new development, and the city's green network. It also identifies a series of primary growth areas. The Future Land Use and Character map sets out the type, scale, and character for different areas in the city. The map classifications include a range of characteristics of urban form to be achieving over time, and they were designed specifically to help guide the code update effort and provide some flexibility as that was occurring. This approach allowed the plan to frame the big policy ideas and the framework for achieving that vision, while allowing the code update process to address the details of specific regulatory provisions as part of that secondary process.
Hi, I'm Don Elliott, a director at Clarion Associates, and I spend most of my time drafting development codes. And from my perspective, there are two great advantages to doing a plan and a code together. Number one, momentum. It's fresh in people's minds. You don't have to remind them. You can even put quotes in the draft ordinance, reminding them what they said in the planning process. Second, you can do outreach and education together. You don't have to tell the public, hold that thought, that'll come up later in the code. You can take that input together. I'd like to talk about Lake Havasu City, Arizona, the home of London Bridge, where we drafted a general plan update and then a code update. Some of the advantages of doing them together were that, for example, McCullough Boulevard is the main street of Lake Havasu City. It's the image maker. People wanted it to be mixed use and walkable, pedestrian friendly, but it's very long. Parts of it lend itself to that. Parts of it are more residential and quiet. We could sort that out and then write the zone districts to reflect those two different characters. Secondly, we learned about the need to build in flexibility. In some areas, the community was not sure what the right vision was for a different part of the city, and we could draft the zoning ordinance with more flexibility to say there may be more than one way to get at, or more than one vision for this area that could be implemented through zoning. So flexibility was something we could work with. What are the lessons? One is, don't expect a one-to-one correlation between the land use categories in the plan and the zone districts. Life doesn't happen that way. Often, because of the way the city evolved, even different areas of the city with the same plan designation need to be zoned into different zoning categories. The second is, don't zone to a picture. Even though the public and the stakeholders may have been very taken with this image of downtown or this image of a gateway, don't write the zoning to say, we want exactly that to happen, because often that can't be financed. That's actually not realistic in this context. All of those things can be sorted out through conversations with the public when you do a plan and a code together.